It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the front page of the Daily Times. The major story here: to allow for broader consultation, NEC advises withdrawal of tax reform bill. Others audit of Nigeria's waterways, dams amid flooding, as Shetima demands decentralization of electricity to end national grid collapse. Another story here: we inherited over 2,000 road projects, terminated 10 contracts, Umahi. Oil theft, 7.68 million barrels stolen, lost. Federal government urges CSOs to focus on significant findings. AFCC recovers 248 billion naira, $105 million, secures 3,455 convictions in 1 year. Some of the stories on the front page of the Daily Times. We move now to the First News newspaper. The NEC urges Tinubu to withdraw tax reform bills amidst controversy. And the writer there, presidency defends reforms as beneficial for all states, rejects claims of regional targeting. CBN NEC to launch financial literacy in junior primary school curriculum. And at the downstrip, I'll take responsibility for any poorly built roads. That's what Elamah is quoted as saying as the Minister of Works. Now, Ganduje to Edo governor-elect, don't waste time probing Obaseki. Some stories on the front page of the First News newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Nation newspaper. Edo, 25 million Nigerians get 25,000 naira conditional cash transfers. 11,000 receive 3.5 billion naira consumer credit facility in last 5 days. 500,000 students take 90 billion naira loan. And another story here: stock market restore investor net. Stock market investors net 12.5 trillion naira gains in 10 months. And a sad story: landlord loses kids, grandkids in Ibadan house collapse. 5 others dead, 7 injured. A really sad one there. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nation newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Punch newspaper, still talking about the tax review. Presidency mounts defense as 36 governors reject proposal. NEC asks President to withdraw bill from National Assembly. Tinubu panel says bill not against governors. And another story here: crashed helicopter wreckage found, 3 passengers remain missing. Elamah can't lift petrol without an NPCL approval. Dangote refinery. Well, federal government MDA salaries to be delayed. Federal government offers 9 months window for free forex deposit. And spring flood death rise to 150, hundreds displaced. Those are some of the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Now to the front page of the Matrix newspaper, still talking about tax reform bills tearing presidency and North apart. And the writers there, NEC asked Tinubu to withdraw contentious tax reform bills, calls for sufficient alignment between stakeholders for proposed reforms. Proposed not anti-North, presidency assures Northern governors. And Fubara finally opens up on NNPCL, other oil companies shutdown report. I don't believe in unconventional crude approaches to matters of governance. Now, Rep step down motion urging Tinubu to revert Niger Delta ministry change. All right, some stories on the front page of the Matrix newspaper. Now to this Nigerian newspaper. Tax reforms not against North, says presidency, as the NEC urges Tinubu to withdraw bills, calls for sufficient alignment among stakeholders for proposed policy. And then the reps reject call to restore Niger Delta Ministry, says conversion will not affect development in region. Wike injects 80 vehicles into FCT transportation fleet, empowers youth. Nigeria loses 200 billion naira annually on printed books abroad. Gutenberg ASO. Those are some stories on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper. To the Nigerian Tribune, withdraw tax reform bill. NEC tells Tinubu proposed reform will correct VAT, that is the value-added tax distribution inequalities. It's not against the North. Presidency clarifies. And 3 years after, wires for burial, November the 30th. And those are some stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Theophilus.
Yes, we'll start with me from the Daily Independent this morning, and it says here, the Daily Independent newspaper, NEC asks Tinubu to withdraw tax reform bill from National Assembly, orders integrity review of Nigeria's waterways, dams. There is 321 dead in 34 states on account of flooding. Tinubu not against Northerners with tax reform bills, says presidency. Federal government gives citizens 9 months to return dollars into banking system. Federal government apologizes over insistent national grid collapse. Nature News, 321 death. NEC declares national emergency over flood crisis in Nigeria. Flood. Minister wants more dams constructed. Center links mental disorder to environmental degradation. Federal government bios a vow to tackle Niger Delta pollution degradation. Of course, we have this and many more in the Nature News newspaper this morning. The New Telegraph says reps to audit 121.67 trillion naira federal government loans, debt since 1999. Power crisis. Federal government will spend over 500 billion naira to complete 100 abandoned projects, says Minister. NEC recommends withdrawal of tax reform bill from National Assembly. That's in the New Telegraph newspaper this morning. The Platform Times says, please 9 billion naira disbursed to fuel unrest during End Bad Governance protest. Flood kills 321. Displaced 743 persons nationwide, that's according to NEC. 25 million Nigerians benefit from 25,000 cash transfer. 500,000 students get 90 billion naira loans as federal government. EFCC recovers over 248 billion naira, 53,000 pounds, 172,000 euros. Corruption process in 12 months. Former minister urges Nigerians to protest over hardship, hunger. Of course, that's in the Platform Times newspaper this morning. Let's move to The Guardian before we move to Sporting Life. The Guardian says here, how to lift millions from poverty to prosperity via local initiatives. That's in the Guardian newspaper this morning. Rivers NLC threatens shutdown as Wabara PDP coalition warn of crisis escalation. Our relationship must be win-win, Tinubu tells France, China, Denmark. National Assembly adjourns plenary abruptly as NEC advises immediate withdrawal. The Hope newspaper, it says, Ayedatiwa in 10 months, 5,949 Ondo workers promoted, more benefits in 2025, says head of service. Global poll, Ondo Muslims pensioners endorse Ayedatiwa. Of course, that's in the Hope newspaper this morning. Let's move to the final newspaper, Sporting Life. Semi Ajayi out for 4 months. Defender set to miss AFCON qualifiers. Iwobi reveals Adarabioyo undecided about Nigeria. PSG leads in race for Lukman. Sevilla goal account delight Iheanacho. Fernandez's wife confirms separation. Amorim hints at why he wants Manchester United move. Of course, this promise should be a game changer for Manchester United. Of course, we have many more stories in the Sporting Life newspaper this morning.
Updated. One of the stories dominating the papers this morning is about the Executive Council urging the President to withdraw the tax reform bill. That's one of the stories dominating this morning. And to get more details, you can pick up any of the papers to get more details.